Peace, my family, and right back to all those coming out of that good cocoon for the first time. Welcome. This is your girl, the butterfly. We about to take off. Let's fly. Just want to send you all the good healing energy your way. Peace, love, happiness, harmony, and abundance. Hope you guys are out there keeping your mind right. Oh yeah. And that good mind. How y'all feeling? Hope you guys most definitely moving on up. That's right. In your higher nature, family, and most definitely cleansing, because you know what's up. If you don't know, now you know. Oh yeah, we gotta cleanse. Alright. So I came in today to read The Mind Scroll by Master Teacher Dr. Malachi. This right here will certainly help you on this good journey. And also, FYI, I posted the Holy Tablets chapter 2, the beginning of that chapter, tablet 1, and they removed my video. So if you are interested and you want to have the audio tapes of the Holy Tablets, right, I got that for you as well if you do need it, because guess what, if you don't want to read it yourself, right, we have an option for you to have the audio. So if you would like that, let me know in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer. But other than that, for the ones that want to get the right knowledge, family, for the ones that just want to get the right knowledge, I've also posted it on my channel. And as well as if you do want the Holy Tablets and other books by Master Teacher Dr. Malachi, which you will definitely need on this good journey with having the right knowledge, with knowing, yourselves, knowing thyself, right? Is here for you. The treasure is here for you on the channel. Alright, so if you are interested, just send me a comment. I'll be happy to help you. Alright, so let's get to it. This is speaking on purification and spiritual practice. This is most definitely going to be needed on this good journey if you apply it to your life. Trust and know. Okay, so let's get to it. It says, "Lo, look, children of God, I'm about to take you on a journey, right, to learning the importance of purification and spiritual practice. You must always remember that you shall always take care of your spirits. And the first step is to take care of your physical body, right, which houses the spirit. 3 basic steps involved in spiritual practice are severely simple living, right? That is, not being caught up in it all, creating a reality that is beneficial for you, that is beneficial and pleasing to the Most High, that it gets you towards your higher self, right? This right here is about, breaking away from the world, breaking that spell. And of course, this is the material plane, cardinal desire, where your wants and desires blind you, right, to the path of the Most High, to the path to get back to the Most High and getting back in alignment. We must learn that we must break away, as we were warned by the important one, omnipotent Jesus, Joshua, Timeless Horse, Root, right? We warned about this and things of this world and how we must not partake, and to learn how to maneuver it in a way where we don't get caught up in it all, right? That's what it's all about. Keeping and regaining yourself. So let's get to it. It goes on to say, self-study. It's very important that you have this self-study, which is what I always tell you, right, on this journey, because this is what is needed. You're going to have the right knowledge. That is the missing link to what makes things so different for, other people that are doing, their spiritual practices in other ways, all these different, schools of thoughts and journeys that people take going on this, journey of life, right? Now realizing the Most High has created a way for us to live in alignment with Him, right? And it's only one way, and that way is the science of Nuapu, right? We must understand that is the science of the Naru, and we must understand that all the religions and all of the things, was taken from, ancient Kemet, Temerate, Egypt, the science of the Netherroot and incorporate it into these other, saints or religions that, created all these others, right? So we must understand where things come from in the root. And the mystery schools is where it all came from. And the thing is, that's why I say we are all one. And once we begin to know the truth and the facts and the science of it all, this is what it is. Life, the world around you, nature is a spiritual science. So it's very important once you begin to know yourselves and, know more about the world and, this planet that you live on and the boundless universes, right, that the Most High has created, right? We begin to see things for what they really are. And it's very important that you begin to learn, because this is your opportunity right now to learn and grow and develop into evolving into what the Most High wanted you to truly be in His and in your true essence, right? In His image. So remember, my family, all of the knowledge and information that you need is here on the channel just for you, to get you the facts of life. And then you can go on and do your self-study and, checking it out for yourself, right? Your research, things that you need to get your confirmation prayers and things that you need, to get it going, to let you know what's up, to let you know what it is. And the journey is about patience, right? Because when you're going on this journey, it's not about your timing. It's about the divine timing. And I know in the world they teach you everything you get to have. It comes to you quite fast with some of the things, right? But that's not the way, the Most High works. Everything works in seasons, times is a flow, right? And space and time, right? And does time really exist? Question. Either way. It's all in divine time in your life and everything that you do. With your, what you putting out, your thoughts, words, and actions. Are you connecting back, and your deeds? Very important. So all of it is something that you must know, right? And a lot of people may not know. So this is how you get in tune. This is how you get back in alignment, when you begin to follow in His ways and not your own. And that leads to the next basic, step, right? And that is the surrender to the Most High, right? The surrender to God. Very important, right? When you first start this journey, you must know that you will have to surrender to the Most High in His will and not your own, right? It's very important when you start to want to get in alignment, right? And that is the best thing for you, whether people realize this or not, because the Most High has created, ways for us to live, a way for us to live in our true way while we are here. And the question becomes, are you going to be obedient? Are you going to listen to what the Most High says? Or are you going to choose a path that you want to go down, right? And that path, let me just let y'all know now, can take you into many different places, many schools of thought, and led astray all at the same time. So you must remember, the Most High is giving you a way, and it, it's everything that you need and more to fulfill your destiny and your soul mission. It's very important, right? So that's why the right knowledge is needed. That's why the missing link is needed. That's why the green print is needed, right? The life print, right? is needed right now in these days and times. Because some people may think, well, why does this make this such like the right knowledge? Because it was sent from the Most High. That's why. It wasn't, by man, right? This was sent from the Most High. It's everything you need and do and more. And this is why that's important, and that sums it all the way up, right? And you'll begin to see this once you begin to do your self-study, right? And getting back in tune and knowing more and getting the knowledge of thyself, right? And the right knowledge. All of it is needed for your growth, right? And you'll begin to see as you begin to take the journey with it. So again, all of it is needed for you. It's here for you. It's a treasure in my family, and it's a beautiful thing. Remember, my family, the treasures are already inside of you, and this is going to help you tap into it. So let's get to it. It goes to say, hostility, right, does not mean physical abuse, right, or severe rigors, right? It refers to strict control for the senses in order to cultivate energy for higher pursuits, right? Austerity in this sense means fasting occasionally, which is very important, family. I know many people may hear about fasting in other schools of thought and things like that, you know. And remember, they got this off of us, right? You know, ancient Kemet, you know, Tamarin, you know, Egypt, right? Let's get to it. So, remember, incorporating fasting is very good for you. It speeds you on up. It helps you to raise your consciousness level up when you begin to detach from the world. All of it is needed for you to detach and not hold on to so much that is definitely not good for you and keeping you in the same state that you in. The thing is, once you begin to break away, realizing that it is an inner world and it is a whole new world, when you begin to break away from, you know, the illusion, right, of what you think you want or how you feel, right? And it gets deeper with that how you feel, right? Because at some point on the journey, it's going to get to where how you feel will determine and bring up to that surface level about how you feel about things. But then also it's going to get to the point you got to move past how you feel, and it's about getting in alignment and your purpose and the reason why you're here, and going with, you know, your heart, and getting down to the fact of that self-control and discipline, where you already know what you came here to do, and it's just time to do it type stuff, right? That's what it is. Okay, so let's get to it. Austerity, in that sense, means fasting occasionally, right? Rise early instead of sleeping late. It's very important that you begin to do this because this helps you get more of your day and incorporate more spiritual practices in the beginning of the day, which is the best time to do it, because this is the best time to give gratitude when you first wake up in the day for even having allotted another day, right? Going to the fact that, you know, this life is temporary and, you know, it's not promised, right, each day. So it's about giving gratitude, making sure that you setting the tone and you acknowledging our Creator and the Source, the Most High of existence, and allowing you life and everything it has done for you thus far in this life to carry your existence, right? So it's very important that we acknowledge and give honor and thanks for everything. All gratitude to a new element score from the exalted, the heavenly one. Oh yes, real family. Let's get to it. So, goes on to say, in reducing certain physical comforts for the sake of greater control of the mind. It's very important in reducing certain physical comforts for the sake of greater control of the mind. You see, that's how you begin to break away, because, you know, the mind will put you in many different spaces, and it's about creating a plan, you know, doing the opposite of what you might be craving, eliminating those things out of your life, pinpointing what they are for you, because everybody is different. And, you know, for example, like, let's say if you are so comfortable, so tuned to, you know, watching different TVs and shows, and it takes you away from your spiritual pursuits, or you don't even do half of the things you said you want to do spiritually, right? Because you're focusing on the physical, and sometimes your downtime is binge watching, or, you know, certain things, and you could have spent some time, you know, with the Most High and doing your self-study, right? But instead you're doing other things, social media, scrolling, you know, things that you were just on hand and comfortable with doing all the time. Sometimes it's good to just turn that phone off, just turn that TV off, and just get back in tune with yourself and nature, and get back in tune and getting still and silent with your own energies, and nothing pulling on them, right? This is what they do. They pay for this stuff. They pay all this money just to get your attention on things, advertising, all types of stuff, you know, to get you, you know, going. And that's a part of it, to get you distracted from the Most High and your purpose and your soul mission and your destiny, family. Let's get to it. We gotta remember, family, all of it is just, a trap to get your attention. And we're doing what, right? What did you do all day, right? And sometimes, yeah, if it is something that is, important, that is building something in your life, that's different, right? You're focusing on that as well. But you make sure you also, just as much as you're building in the physical, you must be making sure that you first building in the spiritual, because that's how it's going to manifest in the physical the right way, right? So you gotta remember that as you go on, because sometimes you can get caught up into the successes of the, physical realm, and you lose track of the spiritual, and then that's when you begin to lose it all, right? And that's when that losing of soul comes into play, because you're too busy focusing on that and trying to get the rewards out of that when you're supposed to be getting the rewards from your spiritual works and what you do here physically and spiritually, all in one with that balance, right? So that's what it is, and that's how you begin to, regain life. It's all about becoming good and doing good and putting good into the world, no matter how chaotic it may be. Don't lose, that hope inside, because the Most High loves us so much, right? And because due to all this stuff that's happening here on this planet, and He has not done, anything that will, make this not even exist, right? We must understand that that's love here. It's divine love. The fact that there's so much happening here, right? And He has still allotted you, as allotted us, living in here on this planet another day, right? That's love, divine love. Alright? Better know it. Okay, so let's get to it. It goes on to say, what keeps the mind flowing in a desired question, or desired direction question? What keeps the mind flowing in a desired direction question? Surrendering to God's will. I'm going to repeat that one more time. What keeps the mind flowing in the desired direction question? And that is surrendering to God's will, right? The Most High's will. Surrendering. That's it. Saying, I'm done living my life my way, because that's definitely going to lead me astray. I want to live the life the way the Most High wanted for me, in His way, in His purpose for my life. That is at your best. That is living your best life. Just telling y'all know now. Just letting y'all know now. Alright, let's go on. One is also surrenders the fruits of work performed, right? This is selfless, where one regards oneself as an instrument of God and serves humanity with no thought, right? No thought of neither credit nor blame. God does not work for you, right? Did y'all know that? God does not work for you. He works with you. Let me repeat that one more time. Ooh. God does not work for you, okay? He works with you. So, you know how that saying goes, faith without works is dead. You must gotta put in that work, family. You got to put in the work for the Most High to work with you, And then seek ye first the kingdom, and everything will be added unto you. You have to put in the work. You have to seek. You have to knock. You know what I mean? You have to actually put in the action. You actually have to put in the work. Oh yeah, it's real. And that's with anything in life as well. That's how it works. Nothing's gonna happen until you begin to make a move. And that's just straight up. Alright. Let's get to it. Okay. Where was I? Alright. Okay. So, ignorance, right, is the lack of awareness of reality. Though a lot of people may love to live in ignorance, it's not good in the eyes of the Most High. The Most High wants you to know certain things, and by knowing these things, you will know how to move right in this realm to get you to where you truly want to be, whether people realize this or not, and fulfilling your destiny and your soul mission. It is very important, family. Very important. So it's about having your awakening and waking on up. Alright, so let's get to it. You cannot really ignore a talking and moving person, right? It is identification with the terminal world rather than with the imperishable self. Egoism is the I-ness, right? And mindness, right? Which creates the illusion that the physical body is the real you. It's not. No, it's not, family. The physical body is not even the real you, family. Did y'all know that? Okay, let's get to it. Likes and dislikes. When a person is swayed by feeling of attraction, right, and aversion, he or she is identifying with the material world and setting him or herself up for the pain of loss and disappointment. Fear of death and clinging to life, right, is binding and stifling, right? None can say when death will come, right? Fear of death is useless and is a useless imagination, a waste of energy, and creates waves of pain, which exists only in the mind. Ignorance is the cause of the above mentioned afflictions, which follows it, right? Which they be latent, weak, suppressed, right? The suffering that comes from egoism, right? Attraction, repulsion, the fear of death, all stems from ignorance, right? Regardless of the degree of which they manifest, as the root of other obstacles and ignorance of the true nature of self, right, is identification with the body and the mind, right? When ignorance is replaced with enlightenment, family, all other causes of pain automatically disappears. When in a state of ignorance, if a human being mistakes what is mundane with what is supreme, right, he or she cannot differentiate between that which will bring pain to the body and the mind, and that which, will bring immortality, right? Egoism is manifests when the individual cannot distinguish his or herself from his or her own senses in the mind. He or she sees him or herself as separate from the rest of humanity, or the rest of, the human race, right? Reacting to others with a sense of competition, right? Rather than cooperation, right? And that's a big one right there. Because a lot of us, whether we know it or not, tend to do certain things at certain times and have our moments, right? We have to get outside of that. We have to begin to move in higher vibrations and higher dimensions. You know what I mean? Where we begin to start moving in cooperation, working together, right? Instead of moving in competition, when people are moving in competition, right? Because this world is taught to be moved, like that. Like this world teaches about competition. We have to get outside of that and start moving with cooperation as, we the people, right? So it's very important that we begin to do so, because that's how you bring forth that unity and that love. Because that unity and love is beyond race, right? Beyond body, beyond mind, right? Remember, my family, this is all a spiritual experience. Better know it. Get to it. Gotta learn it. I'm just letting y'all know. What the Most High has for you is everything and more. It is the treasure. So, let's get to it. Okay, so where was I? Attraction, right, is that which dwells on pleasure, right? Most think of attraction and pleasure as positive things, but when associated with objects of the material world, they invisibly bring pain, right? Because most think of attraction and pleasure as positive things, but when associated with objects of the material world, right, they eventually bring pain. Nothing in the physical world is permanent, right? Everything is temporary, right? He's the the constant fear of loss, right? And the loss itself keeps, or the loss itself keeps those seeking pleasure in unhappy states. That's why we gotta get outside of it, right? This is why the spiritual person learns to cultivate a dislike for the worldly pleasures, right? He or she is never disappointed nor unhappy, right? The result, ironically, is that by not seeking pleasure, he or she is always happy. Just as attraction brings pain, so does aversion. And the mental attitude of aversion is a negative one, and often makes a neutral situation appear as if it were one to be avoided. It is not possible to avoid all distasteful, circumstances, right? When there are likes and dislikes, a person cannot be happy. He or she is dwelling on visionary pairs of opposites, right? Rather than learning to be content in all situations. Let me repeat this one more time, because this is a biggie right here. It's about learning to be content in all situations. That's everything. Learning how to be content in all situations, no matter what you go through, no matter what you face. Being content in all situations. Oh, that's everything. I'm going to say it again. Yes. And surrendering, right, to the Most High's plan, right, for his or her growth, right? Man, wisdom is real. Whew. Let's get to it. Fear of death is a continual desire to live, which is rooted even in the minds of the wise, right? The fear of death is the fear of loss of identity, right? Of losing or letting go of the ego, right? Even when all else is given up, there is still the clinging to life. And that's why people sometimes call certain things like the ego death and things like that. That's real. Because that's what this is about. You must learn how to burn it. Alright, let's get to it. When these various afflictions are minor distractions to the excellent, they can be migrated back into their cause by substituting the opposite, the mental modifications, right? For example, if an egotistical thought, right, arises, they can be combated by focusing on the all, right? And you bring a part, and you are being a part of a greater love, right? The all, right? The Most High, the all El Kalim, right? We're all a part of that all, right? Who appointed the Most High knew El was glorified and exalted, right? Let's get to it. This is the example. If the egotistical thought arises, they can be combated by focusing on the all, right? And you being a part of a greater love, that divine love. If feelings of attraction or avoidance enter the mind, right, then content or acceptance can be substituted. If the affliction are avert and a great distraction to the mind, they can be elevated through regular meditation and prayer. That's why it's very important to begin to practice meditation, and it doesn't happen overnight. This is something that you learn through the years of meditating to get yourself into. You learn through practice and daily practice of prayer and meditation. All right, to the Most High, right? Okay. The law of fate states that every action brings about an equal and opposite reaction. Whatever is done to others will return to the doer. Let me repeat this one more time. Whatever is done to others will return to the doer. Most people are continually creating fatal situations. Y'all better know this, okay? This is the laws of the universe, the laws of the Most High, right? You must understand, it's laws to this, it's levels to this. Alright? I'm just saying, y'all, it's so for real. I'm not even playing. Like, alright? Whatever is done to others, right, will return to the doer. Most people are continually creating fatal and new fatal situations, right? This is due to ignorance, right? They don't know, or they're ignoring the facts, right? And it's accompanying affliction, right? Before final emancipation, all debts, right, of fate, right, must be worked out. Whether one decides to do it in this life, right, or this present life, right, a form of hell, right, we're living in, right, are we in heaven, people? Let's just get it real, okay? We're creating the heaven, but are we in, like, the heavens, right? So let's get to it. Or on lower planes of existence. This is why I say this. If you don't learn lesson here now in this lifetime, you're gonna learn it, the lesson in lower planes of existence, family. And I don't know about y'all, but I wasn't one of those ones that wanted to learn a lesson later. I wanted to learn it right now, right? Because this right here was already enough for me, right? So I don't know about you, but I'm just letting y'all know this, right? There are lower planes than this, right? And I'm just telling y'all now. No one wants to experience those lower planes of existence. I'm just telling y'all now, right? Alright. So, which is referred to as hell, right? Because like I said, you create your hells, you create your heavens, right? It's all inside of you. What you do, you know, as having your Godhead, when people even know that they have that Godhead. You know what I mean? And reclaiming that, right? You create your own reality with what you choose to do. You create your own heaven and hell. That's what I'm trying to tell you, okay? Now, like, let's go on. Each must reap what they sow. And that's just in life in general, the spiritual life, the facts of life, the spiritual experience, right? It's real, family. I'm just telling y'all now. You reap what you sow, family. No one does it to you. This is the laws. This is the laws of the universe. You do. You reap what you sow. Right? Various life experiences are due to the situations of fate that has earned him or her by his or her thoughts, right, words, and deeds. They have pleasure or pain as their fruit, according to whether this is, virtue or vice. Overstanding this, the spiritual person strives to do only agreeable actions. This is very important. That's why it's about keeping your thoughts positive, doing good, being good out here, you know what I mean? Because it's real out here, okay? This is the Most High way, I'm just saying. Okay, understanding this, the spiritual person strives to do only agreeable actions, right? And to accept the peaceful ill that comes his or her way. Oh, that's a big one, family. You must understand that you must accept the peaceful of the ill that comes his or her way. I know that that's hard for some to do. I get it. It's hard for us to do at times. Yes. But this right here, family, is everything. we must accept peacefully the ill that comes his or her way, right? Because you know you're building that treasure not here, but in the heavens. Oh yeah, man. Alright, I'm over here having a moment. Okay, let's get to it. So that all his or her seed of death is burned, family. Let me repeat that one more time. So that all his or her seed of fate are burned. This is how you do it. Oh yes, family. Oh yes, this is. It's about correction. It's about getting clean your plate. Yes, everything. All right, let's get to it. No new ones are sowed, and no new ones are sowed. Violence to others, whether in thought, word, or deed, must be avoided. Non-injury means more than refraining from inflicting physical pain. Mental pain can be far more devastating, right? Far more devastating. When one is established a complete harmlessness, even wild animals will approach in peace, family. The function of truth is to maintain harmony through trust, right? Yes. It is better to be silent, right, than to tell a truth that will cause pain or that springs from a wrong motive, right? A truthful person has power, and for what he or she says comes to pass, right? And his or her words becomes law. Cleanness also extends to the mind. Only when the mind is purified, all things can be a pure mirror for clear reflections, right? The laughter comes from stimulation, but a smile comes from that inner peacefulness, right? Satisfied with itself, the mind needs nothing else for its contentment, which grows in proportion and awareness of the inner self, right? The mind should not be affected by external objects. They must be possessed, but with detachment. They may be, not must be, but they may be possessed, right? But with detachment, right? Do not let them possess your mind. Austere means curdling demands of the senses. Drink water instead of bad drinks, and practice silence instead of talking loud, right? Control greed and the counteract sleep by getting up early, and the mind learns that its demand for pleasure will not be met through the senses. It stops its useless wandering and turns inward. So that is a good place to stop for now, family. Now, if you want to check this out, which is so much encouraged to do so, it is on the channel just for you. Or send me a comment. I'll be happy to assist to get it to you. Alright, so I'm going to leave it at that for now. Until next time, peace.